The harder you try to be happy, the more miserable you become. The more you chase peace, the further it runs. This isn't poetry. It's the architecture of your suffering. Right now, you might be searching for something, a better version of yourself, a calmer mind, a life that finally feels complete. And with every step forward, the finish line moves. You're running, but you're not getting closer. You're just tired. What if the very act of seeking is what keeps you from finding? Today, we simply invite ourselves to rest, to settle into the stillness that already is. This contemplation offers a quiet space to understand how to let go of the one thing weighing you down, the belief that peace is somewhere else. In the late 16th century, a Chinese scholar named Hong Zicheng withdrew from public life. No grand farewell, no manifesto. He simply walked away from the world of ambition and noise. And in his solitude, he wrote a collection of aphorisms called Cai Gen Tan, Vegetable Root Discourse. The title itself is a teaching. A vegetable root is bitter, tough, humble, but it nourishes. Hong Zicheng understood that wisdom isn't found in sweetness or luxury. It's found in the root, in the simple, often uncomfortable truth we spend our lives avoiding. He wrote, "The heart of man contains a book of truth, but the text is incomplete, and the pages are torn. The spirit of man holds a melody of truth, but it is covered by sensual music and shallow dances." This is where we are, standing in the noise, holding a truth we can't quite read, trying to hear a song beneath the static. Let's talk about desire, not as moral failing, but as mechanism, a loop your mind has mistaken for life itself. You want something. You believe getting it will make you whole, so you chase it. Maybe you catch it. A relationship, a salary, a moment of recognition, and for a brief, flickering instant, you feel complete. Then the feeling fades. The wanting begins again. This isn't weakness. Desire kept our ancestors alive. Hunger drove them to hunt. Fear kept them from danger. But now, survival isn't the primary concern. Desire doesn't stop. It mutates. You don't need food. You need validation. You don't need shelter. You need certainty. You don't need safety. You need control. And the mind keeps running, keeps reaching, keeps believing peace is one more achievement away. Hong Zicheng saw this clearly. Those who live chained to desires think life is bad. Those who arrive at the dwelling of knowledge within themselves think life is good. The problem isn't life. It's the chain, the belief that you're incomplete without something external. But what if you were never broken? What if the only thing fractured is the story you've been telling yourself? Here's the paradox. The more you try to control your life, the more out of control you feel. You plan your day down to the minute. You optimize. You set goals, track metrics, measure progress, and still, something unexpected happens. A delay, a disappointment, a moment that doesn't fit the script, and suddenly you're unraveled. Because control is an illusion, and deep down, you know this, but you can't stop grasping, because to let go feels like falling. Hong Zicheng writes about people who see tigers in every shadow, who interpret every rustling branch as a threat, who live in a world they've painted with their own fear. But he also speaks of those whose minds are still, who see the same shadows, and perceive nothing sinister, who hear the same branches and find music. The world hasn't changed, only the mind has. A restless person sees serpent shadows and suspects everyone, sees crouching tigers where there are only still rocks. Everything appears sinister and fatal. A tranquil person sees seagulls in the stones where others see tigers, hears songs in the moving branches. Everything appears beneficial. Everything you experience is filtered through the lens of your mind. If that lens is clouded with desire, with fear, with the need to control, then even beauty looks threatening. Even stillness feels like danger. This is why chasing peace doesn't work. You're trying to change the world, when what needs to shift is the lens. Let's bring this into your life. Right now, you wake up. Maybe you set an intention to be present, to be calm, to finally get it right. And within an hour, someone irritates you, or you check your calendar and feel that familiar tightness in your chest, and you think, I failed again. But you didn't fail. You just believe the story that there's a right way to feel, that peace is a destination, that if you just try harder, you'll finally arrive. But peace isn't a destination. It's not an achievement. It's not something you earn. Peace is what remains when you stop demanding that this moment be different. In your work, this looks like doing your best without tying your worth to the outcome. Not apathy, but presence without attachment. You give your effort, then you release it. You don't carry it home. You don't rehearse conversations that haven't happened. In your relationships, this looks like loving without possession, without the quiet demand that others behave in ways that keep you comfortable. Love becomes simpler, not weaker, just less complicated by expectation. And with your own thoughts, this looks like recognizing that your mind will produce noise. It will catastrophize. It will replay the past and rehearse the future. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to meditate it away. You just stop believing every thought is true. Your brain cannot distinguish between a real threat and an imagined one. Your anxiety about tomorrow activates the same systems as a predator in the room. But once you see this, you can recognize the tiger is imaginary, not by arguing with it, but by simply not feeding it. Let's pause here. Let's practice. Close your eyes if you're in a safe space to do so. If not, soften your gaze. Bring your attention to your breath, not to change it, just to notice it, the rise, the fall, the space in between. Now notice, where in your body are you holding tension? Your jaw? Your shoulders? Your stomach? Don't try to release it. Just acknowledge it. Say silently, I see you. Now ask yourself, what am I trying to control right now? Not in your life, right now, in this moment. Are you trying to do this practice correctly? Are you waiting for peace to arrive so you can confirm you're doing it right? Notice the trying, the reaching, the quiet demand, and for just a moment, let it go. Not forever, not as a discipline, just here, just now. Rest in the not knowing, in the not controlling, in the simple fact that you are here, breathing, alive, whole. This is it. This is the root. Not something to achieve, something to remember. Stay here as long as you need. When you're ready, open your eyes. Hong Zicheng offers us a way of seeing that cuts through centuries. If within your mind there is neither wind nor waves, then everywhere you are amidst blue mountains and azure waters. If your spirit has reached the flowering of perfect awareness, then everywhere you are, you will see fish leaping and birds singing. This isn't about escaping to a monastery. It's about recognizing that the world you experience is inseparable from the state of your mind. You can be in the middle of a crowded city and feel the vastness of silence, or you can be in the most serene environment and feel tormented by your own thoughts. The location doesn't matter. The content of your life doesn't matter. What matters is whether you're at war with what is. And here's the difficult truth. Most of us are. We've been taught that growth means striving. That wisdom means accumulating knowledge. That peace means fixing ourselves. But the sages understood something radically different. You don't need to become anything. You need to stop pretending you're not already whole. This doesn't mean you stop growing. It doesn't mean you stop learning, creating, loving, working. It means you stop doing it from a place of deficiency. You stop believing your worth is conditional, that your peace depends on external conditions aligning perfectly. You are the blue mountains. You are the azure waters, not metaphorically, but as the actual ground of your being. The noise on the surface doesn't change this. The thoughts, the emotions, the circumstances, they rise and fall like waves, but the depth remains undisturbed. The root of all wisdom is simply this: let yourself rest, not as a reward, not after you've earned it by being productive enough, disciplined enough, good enough, but now, right here, in the middle of your imperfect, unfinished life. You don't need to chase peace. You need to stop running from it. You don't need to become enlightened. You need to recognize that the light was never absent. You don't need to fix yourself. You need to see that the belief in brokenness was the only thing that ever needed healing. Hong Zicheng withdrew from the world, not because he hated it, but because he saw through it. He saw that the race had no finish line, that the ladder had no top rung, that the promise of one day was a trap that kept everyone running in place. And in his solitude, he found something the world couldn't give him, not because it was hidden, but because he stopped looking for it. If this touched something in you, stay. We walk this path slowly here. No rush, no pressure, just steady, quiet companionship in remembering what we've always known. The root nourishes, even when it's bitter, even when it's simple, even when the world calls it unremarkable. It sustains, and that's enough.